This is part 2, living in the Lamb house. These are just a small, minute portion of what it's like living in this house. Once I realized that this was paranormal activity in the house, I was excited to pick up a camera and start recording and listen to these captures. And the more I did investigations, the stronger the activity became. It was like these spirits realized that somebody's finally listening.
That's how it started with me, was footsteps. Hearing the footsteps throughout the house. Which then turned into hearing your name being called. Mm-hmm. Just like when I came back, a few months ago when you had me up in the room. And you're like, oh, I'll be right back. And you go downstairs. You go to the garage and I come down. Yeah, Dad, what? You're like, I never said anything.
Yeah.
I went downstairs looking for you because I heard my name being called. And oftentimes you'd be sitting there, you know, whether you're on your phone, watching TV, relaxing, reading something, whatever the case may be, maybe you're just walking through the house, and you see figures move on the corner of your eye. And that's often. It's almost every day. I don't experience it at a friend's house. I don't experience it at Crystal's house. Grocery stores, just this house daily. I see dark objects move in the corner of my eye. You look, nothing's there. But not only that, feeling like you're always being watched.
Yeah, that's one of the big things that got me. When we first moved into this house, and it's not just you know, your imagination thinking that you're being watched. You actually felt like there was a presence there watching you.
Exactly, yeah.
There are some downfalls to living here in this house, and one of the downfalls is privacy. I mean, these spirits know everything we do in this house. In fact, one night I stubbed my toe so bad on the steps, and my wife was in the bedroom laughing. You know, she usually does that when I stub my toe because it happens a lot. Well, I'm dancing at the top of the steps and I go, ow, I broke my toe, you know, and I'm screaming and crying and, you know, blood coming out of my toe, and she's over there laughing. Well, anyway, these spirits watched that happen that night, and they knew it happened because the next night I did an investigation in this house and this was captured. So it's always in the back of your mind, you know that these spirits watch you. And you know what? Okay, here, right there, seriously. I mean, imagine standing in there or sitting in there, and all of a sudden you get this really strong feeling you're being watched. Makes me want to take a shower with my swimming trunks on. A long time ago, I had the bathtub set up in this basement. You know, because I like taking baths. There were no bathtubs in this house.
Right.
So I set up that bathtub here in the basement. I got a garden hose, you know, poured hot water in it, and I'd kick back here in this basement and, you know, take a bath. And that didn't last long because while in this basement, sitting in that tub, I just felt like not one, two, or three people watching me, but multiple people. I felt like I was taking a bath out in public in a busy road where everybody can see me.
Yeah.
You know, and I would hear strange whispers, strange sounds in my ears while I was down here. There's times I'd get pressure build up in my ears, or my ear would start ringing really loud, and there was something about this basement that just didn't feel right. It just didn't feel right at all. I mean, and I may have took 4 baths down here, and that was it. I was done with it. There was just something about this basement that I did not like staying down here in this basement. And it wasn't my imagination, because remember, you know, I didn't really believe in hauntings.
Right.
I mean, I knew spirits existed, but I didn't believe in hauntings. You know, so it wasn't my imagination getting the best of me. Of course, later on we find out, you know, what this basement's all about and what's going on down here.
Right. You know, when I was working with the Time Warner Cable, I ran the cable lines in this basement. And I remember I was down here for a while doing the work. And I remember I was down here for a while doing the work. I was down here for And I worked in a lot of basements. I worked in a lot of homes.
Throughout Maine.
Yeah, throughout Maine. I worked in a lot. And when I was down in this basement running these lines, I found myself looking over my shoulder constantly as if someone was standing in the corner.
Yeah.
As if I was being watched from over there. How often are you out in public, or maybe you're sitting in your car at a red light, and you feel like you're being watched, and you look, and sure enough, someone's sitting there staring at you?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, you can feel it when someone's looking at you.
Right.
Everyone's experienced that.
Right.
Everyone who's watching this video has experienced that. Feel like you're being watched, you look, sure enough, someone's sitting across from you, someone's looking at you. I kept feeling like something was watching me. I'd look over at the hole over there, I'd look in the corner, and I had to crawl under there, run the lines under there, and that was weird. And it's rare, it's most of the time, and there has been a couple other houses before out of the thousands of homes I've worked in where I had the creak similar to here, but it's very rare.
Yeah.
But this basement?
Living in the Lamb House, you never know when powerful paranormal activity will suddenly strike. One minute the house seems quiet, then suddenly something will set these spirits off, then all hell breaks loose. It can happen like a tornado hitting a house, leaving one in total fear. Last summer, Joshua and I were doing interviews with a group of people working on a project. Due to this group of people wanting to remain anonymous, some of the video clips are blacked out, and their questions or comments are redacted. This interview was conducted online with monitors set up so we can talk face to face. While Joshua was being interviewed, I heard a sound and faint voices coming from the kitchen. I pulled out my cell phone and started recording.
Because when you're a kid, you're just expected to be scared of things. That's it. Anyways, when I was a kid, one bedroom, I just had a hard time sleeping in there. And one day I was sitting in there. I had this rug, and it has a rug with a little, where you put the cars on it, and you get to drive the cars around like a little city rug. Anyways, I was sitting there, and the TV had turned on its own. And I looked up at the TV, freaked the hell out, and then the volume started shooting up on the TV, and it was one of those old tube TVs.
I turned my cell phone camera off. During the interview, Joshua was asked what he thought about me doing these investigations. Jokingly, Joshua said, "At first I thought my dad was crazy for chasing these spirits." When Joshua said this, a piece of tile from the kitchen floor violently flew into the dining room, hitting some of the filming equipment, and landed on the floor close to him. I quickly hit record on my cell phone.
It looks like it come from some height too. It come down. It sounds like it come down because it hit the lighting equipment there, the case, and then the floor.
I heard something fly over the top of my head. It came from the kitchen.
I heard it hit this. It went boom, boom, boom. But this is my first time experiencing an object being thrown in the house.
Just heard another disembodied voice from the kitchen.
That's weird. Now I'm creeped out now. I am creeped out. Yeah, I'm starting to, here it is. You guys getting to experience right on the interview. This is, you wanted real emotion, you're getting it. So, right now, I definitely feel a little bit of anxiety. You're feeling it right in the belly area, because I was just sitting here talking to you guys when I heard this bounce off the stuff here, like it was thrown. So it's an eerie feeling. It's seriously an eerie feeling. Clearly, I said something that must have upset them, whether it was because they felt like I was disrespecting my dad or them. But I have to sleep here tonight. So if I upset you guys, I'm sorry. I didn't no disrespect. I didn't mean to upset you. But it makes you feel a bit sick to your stomach. Seriously. I feel the anxiety. You feel it in your stomach.
During the interview, Joshua was asked, "What is it like doing investigations with your dad?" When Joshua talked about this subject, once again, the activity picked up. And once again, I hit record on my cell phone. What was captured was disturbing.
He's experienced. He has no fear towards these spirits. He has what seems to be like a relationship with these spirits, almost in a way. It's almost like they like him, and I'm still pretty freaked out by them. So I feel safer around him. I feel safer around my father. When we go out on these investigations, I feel safer around my father. I think they do want to protect him. And I think partly why is because I think we know there's been spirits that have wanted to harm him. And I think that these other spirits are very protective over Kim. do believe that there are spirits here that do have his back. Imagine that, speaking with something dead and then leading you on a quest to assist them in their afterlife. It's an adventure. Right, because I think, and as crazy as it sounds, I think that my father has really established a friendly relationship with the spirits. I think they trust him.
I turn record off and start taking still shot photos in the dining room and kitchen. I also set up a digital recorder. My other cameras were not charged. While taking still shots, something happened with Joshua that sent him into panic mode.
I worry about my mental health, and I worry about my family's mental health being in this house too. Because, I mean, I don't have all the answers that a lot of people recommend. That people recommend. That
After I heard the tone in Joshua's voice, I quickly turned record back on.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm freaked the fuck out right now.
There's a lot of activity going on in the house at the moment.
I felt like there was something was right in my face, right next to me. I have the goose. Look at this.
Yeah.
The goosebumps.
Goosebumps all over. Can we take a break?
I'm obviously, I know you guys can see me and you're looking at me. I was like, I just. It felt like
Hold on, even these cameras are completely moved. They're not even lined up. This one's not even lined up. Right? This is way off. Right, that one's good. I mean, that was like completely off.
Have you ever been asleep and you've had, I don't know if you have kids or not, or maybe siblings, but have you ever been asleep and someone's ever put their face close to your face? That's exactly what I just experienced. It's just like I've had nieces, nephews, brothers, sisters, and when you're resting, you're sleeping, and someone sticks their face up by your face, it's like you feel it, you wake up. That happened to me right here. And it freaked me the hell out. Like I felt my heart started pumping. I got my blood pumping. My blood pressure went up. Yeah, because I don't think, it's not going to harm us. There's nothing here that can physically harm us, like he was saying earlier. You know, maybe when I said, and if spirits can hear me right now, when I had said that he was crazy chasing you guys around, I know you're real and there's no disrespect to you guys, if you can hear me.
The group that conducted this interview were recording from their end online. They heard multiple disembodied voices and captured multiple EVPs. They fully analyzed the recordings from their camera and audio equipment used in the Lamb House and were shocked at what was captured. They also confirmed an apparition passing in front of one of their cameras. In my still shots, this strange mist was captured from my office. Well, another thing, getting up in the night to use the bathroom 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Of course, I would have to walk from my room down the steps through the dining room into the bathroom. And while standing there in the bathroom, that bathroom window that's there in the bathroom, you know, I swear somebody's standing looking at me through that window. And I look really fast at the window and I'm like, somebody was looking at me.
Right.
You know, I just felt like somebody was just standing there staring at me. But what's really strange is when you walk back, when I'm walking back to my bedroom, I'm walking through the dining room and it literally felt like somebody's following me. I turn around and look behind me really fast and there's times I thought I heard a voice.
Right.
Of course, back then I didn't really understand what was going on, but I would hear a voice. And that would really give me the creeps. And there's times I've walked up those steps, going back to my bedroom, I'd get up at the top of the steps and the steps are still making sounds as if somebody's walking up them behind me. And that's when I just dart into that bedroom, close the door, jump in bed. I'm like, what the hell was that?
That's funny. When we first moved here and when I lived here, we all had our own little experiences. And I don't think we'd all quite talked about them.
No.
And at this point too, I didn't believe in the afterlife. I didn't believe in life after death.
Right.
I had more of an evolution approach with my thinking, so I didn't think that there was spirits or ghosts. I figured we lived, we were born, we had offspring, we died, that's it. Cycle moves on.
I did not believe in ghosts. I did not believe in hauntings. I did when I was a kid. You know, every kid, I guess, has a fear of ghosts, but I can assure you that the departed ones that are in a spirit form that people run into today, and you know, they're not a type of demonic force that attacks people. What's my name? Who said my name? Anybody up there?
I've done a few investigations, and some in the basement, some in different parts of the house. The ones in the basement, you could definitely feel, it felt like there was a presence down there.
As many investigations I've done in here, many investigations I've done in this house, you kind of know which voice is in which room. It's almost like every room is a different portal. Living in the Lamb house, I have this unique opportunity to pick up the camera and do investigations whenever I want. I remember this one particular incident. I was doing a walkthrough investigation of the house. I went into the garage, and this is the time I saw a shadow apparition in the corner of the garage. Hello? Knowing that apparition was there, all of a sudden there was this extremely creepy growl that came out so loud that it literally scared the crap out of me. Oh, I don't think so. The female that said, "Help me, please." I didn't mean to be a jerk, but in that moment, I actually felt like I was the one that was needing help. You know, there's just no way I was going to stay in there. So I hightailed it as fast as I could out of that garage. Oh, I don't think so. Fucking something growled at me. And while I'm running down the steps, you know, another spirit saying, "Help me," and then another spirit says, "Wait up, Kent." Wait up, Kent. I hope that means that spirit couldn't stay up with me as fast as I was running out of that garage. If wait up, Kent means he wanted me to go back in there, well, you know what? It was days before I went back in that garage again. Oh, I don't think so. I heard a strange noise coming from the basement, and I went down there to check it out. I did hear a voice call me the F word, and it definitely annoyed me. But what really annoyed me is when I started going up the steps to leave the basement, something literally slapped a cell phone right out of my hand. Oh, really? You know, that's so original. Yeah, I heard that. Hot water heater is making too much noise, but I did hear that voice. Based on my experience, you know, on the hauntings in this house, it's nothing like what you see in the movies or on television. know where you're at? Do you know what town you're in? You know, I'm in the kitchen cooking dinner, and I hear my name called out. You know, so I walk to the living room, and I go to your mother. I go, what? She goes, I didn't say anything. I said, you just said my name. She goes, no, I didn't. And I walk back to the kitchen again, and then I'd hear talking of a female voice, and I'd walk back in there, okay, did you just say something? She goes, no, I'm sitting here reading. While living in this house, when you hear all the different multiple voices, you scratch your head and wonder sometimes, are they talking to me? Is this residual energy? Or are they talking to each other? A lot of times you can't tell. Anybody in here? Now that really makes me wonder, what exactly was that spirit getting ready to do? Where he said, I wouldn't, and then that other spirit reacts that way. And there's a lot of times what you think might be residual energy, spirits don't communicate intelligently if it's residual energy. They don't respond to you. I set a breakfast sandwich down, and at first I thought the voices may have been residual energy. However, these spirits intelligently responded to my sandwiches. Breakfast sandwiches are on. Did you say something up there? Whoa.
gas, he used to do dishes downstairs, and while he was cleaning, he used to hear something say his name all the time. And if you remember, he had gotten spooked out so many times that he would go over to the mini mart to see his mom to hang out because something frightened him.
Is this something paranormal related, or is this just stuff all in her head? Different people have mentioned they've seen stuff in this house, and they've heard things, and they've heard people talking. And I said, Mike, look, there's something strange going on in this house. It's been going on for 3 years now. So I went across, he asked me, well, how old is the house, Kent? And I said, well, you know what, I'll go across the street and I'll take some pictures. And I'll text them to you. And so I went across the street, I took pictures, I texted them to my brother, and you know, I pretty much left it at that. And I was getting ready to delete videos and, you know, pictures off my phone. And before I deleted those pictures, I zoomed in on those pictures. And when I zoomed in on the upstairs window was this face looking out the window. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, okay, I'm not a ghost hunter. I'm not a professional paranormal investigator. So I called a paranormal investigator, and they came to the house, and they went around the house with these instruments, and they've concluded, yes, there's definitely something in this house. Now, when these paranormal investigators showed up, they were carrying in all this equipment. I mean, there's enough wires they brought in to wire NASA. They had this box thing that they made that had some type of thing rotating on it with these balls on it. And they said that that was supposed to put off energy that these spirits could use. And they had all kinds of gadgets. I mean, they had laser lights, and I didn't know anything about paranormal, so I assumed that, you know, that's everything you needed to do an investigation. The house literally looked like a nightclub in NASA. You know, there was a lot of equipment in here, and there was a lot of people. But they conducted the investigation, and these are some of the clips from that investigation.
So this is going to show you all the ones at once.
Do you want to put something underneath it?
Underneath that? No, I was just watching it.
I was just thinking because of like that one.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's actually...
That's what it does.
Absorb it better.
Yeah, that's what I was looking at.
Can you get the combinations now?
I'm telling you. If you're here at all, can you move that ball in the doorway? We're not here to hurt you.
there's been a lot of incidents here in this house involving something to do with a baby, and we've captured many times an infant crying really loud and a male and a female talking. I don't always show these in the videos, but I have no doubt something happened with the baby that involved a man and a woman. And I hope one day to get down to the bottom of this. It's kind of a sad situation, but this is something I really need to figure out, because obviously something bad happened with the baby. So while living in this house, every time an investigation is done, it's like stirring up a hornet's nest, because the activity becomes so strong, it takes quite a few days for it to calm down. And that's why I can't always do investigations in here every single week, because we have to live in this house.
Adam said that when he would, him and Miranda are playing games online together, that she would set the headset down and go get a drink or use the restroom. She'd leave the room and he'd hear whispers and voices over the headset on her end.
Yeah.
She comes back up. He's like, oh yeah, I heard voices. So
Yeah.
it's something that we're all experiencing.
It's like someone was really trying to, more than one, someone was really trying to communicate and come through. And yeah, try to get a message across. Kind of makes your skin crawl sometimes. Sometimes it gives you like goosebumps all over.
Almost everybody that talks with me on the phone, whether it's through my phone number, whether it's through FaceTime, or any other way of communications, they said they're hearing multiple EVPs while on the phone with me. And one person even heard a female clearly say, "Help me." We do have issues with electronics here in this house. Electronics such as televisions, PlayStations, Xbox. And what happens is the TVs can just shut off. The Xbox, for no reasons, will shut off. The PlayStations. And while watching TV, the channels will change. The volume adjusts. Also, we've had issue with the smoke detectors in this house where they're screeching at 3 o'clock in the morning, waking us up. In fact, that smoke detector there, I had to completely disconnect it. I put a new one up there, put new batteries in, and it would screech in the night. And notice how that's by the basement. I have seen people bring electronic things into this house, and they did say they've never saw their device react that way before. Sabra brought some kids game over that was like a speak and spell, and she said she never saw it react that way before. Well, Tara and Dusty comes over to the house, and they bring this little robot. Now, I don't know much about this robot, but when she brought it into this house, it reacted in such a way that Tara, Dusty, and their oldest daughter said they've never saw the robot react this way before. So that's normal right there?
Him rocking back and forth until he's set off is normal. See, like, then he'll follow.
Something goes in.
It has to be something that goes in front of him.
I guess they don't like the orange, but they like the yellow.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just all motion activated. Any part of him is completely... See, and you have to be pretty close.
Where's he going?
We don't know! Stay. Let's see what he does. Hold on. Oh my god! What's under your bed, Kent?
So I don't know nothing about him. Is he not supposed to be doing
He's
that?
not supposed to be doing that. Watch, I'll even reset him again one more time. I don't know if I should grab him or not. He's just going crazy. Okay.
Me.
Ah! Okay, do it. Oh!
He growled at you. Now, I know what I heard when that robot said what it said. There's no doubt it definitely sounded like the F word. To me it did. Now, is it possible that a spirit can manipulate a device like that and talk through it? Yes, it's very possible, because think of the Ovilus in this house, how it reacts. Now, there's no doubt a spirit can manipulate the Ovilus. It'll use words through that Ovilus that's not even in the dictionary. So I have no doubt that the spirit did manipulate that robot to say what it said. And you never heard of that thing growl at you before when you
It
grabbed it?
doesn't growl.
No, he doesn't
The
growl.
thing doesn't growl at all.
But it
He
made a
goes-
growl
he-
sound.
He usually goes wop, wop, wop. Or,
Did you hear that?
"Aw."
Did you hear that growl sound it
He
made?
did. He growled at me, and I didn't like that. Okay, come here. Oh. Okay, come here. He's never growled at me before.
I'll have to slow that down, see if there's somehow...
See, but what I mean, like, he literally will just sit there until something moves him, and he took off all around your whole room, going everywhere.
He doesn't have a growl. No,
He doesn't have a growl at all. He says wop wop wop, and he goes aww, and things like that. He does not have a like setting.
Hello? Hello? But there's a lot of light situations where the lights turn on and off. There's, I don't know how many times I've walked into that kitchen, I turned the light off, after I'm getting ready to leave the room, I'm walking away and the light turns right back on. It's happened in the mudroom, it happens in my bedroom, it happens in the bathroom, and you would think that maybe it's a faulty switch, but it's not a faulty switch. I mean, something is literally turning the light back on.
You have to, acknowledging it is just kind of like the first step. You gotta, okay, something's going on, now what am I gonna do about it? And sometimes it's riding you like a cowboy rides a bucking bronco, just won't get off until you ask for help or, break down or something. Because I think that's what it's going for. It's trying to push you over that edge.
It doesn't seem like this activity ever stops.
I feel like it's more prevalent and than any other house that I've ever gone to investigate in. I've been chasing after supernatural stuff my whole life, and I've never really had such a regular, strong number of encounters than in this one place. And yeah, kind of unnatural too, because you can almost kind of tell when it's like lingering past spirits, like as in the once living that are now dead, like, because they have routines, they were once living, and then here it's kind of like a funk, like someone was messing around with something maybe they shouldn't have been for a while and caused some kind of disturbance.
And that's what's strange about living in this house. No matter what you do, when you're not doing an investigation in here, you could just play a keyboard, do dishes, whatever, and these spirits react. Hello? All right.
just being around doing investigations, other things, and you go home and it follows you home. Like it, it can change your mood for a whole day. You can go from being in like a good space where you're comfortable to all of a sudden being uncomfortable just in any number of ways, whether it's, you know, physically, mentally, just anxiety.
One thing that happens quite a bit is when you're walking through the house, or if you're just sitting down watching TV, or you could be sitting at the table eating, and out of nowhere, there's this cold air. I mean cold, that just starts swirling around your head, and you can feel it on your face, and it just swirls around you. Normally when that happens, you know, you start experiencing activity such as hearing a disembodied voice or strange sounds in the room. And my dinner's boiling over, so I'm going to have to turn it down. I couldn't ever tell you how many times that when walking in this dining room, especially this dining room experiences this a lot. But you walk in here and it's like you come around the corner, and this is just an example, just not this, but other things that's happened. You come around a corner and you see that up in midair, and then all of a sudden it just drops. Or the doll. I don't know how many times I saw this doll moved, especially the feet. Or you could be standing here and all of a sudden, or walking by, and you notice that the curtain lifts up and just suddenly drops. You stop dead in your tracks and you look to see if that was a cat. No cat anywhere in sight. And the windows are closed tight, so it wasn't the wind that caused that. Now, I never believed in animal spirits. I felt like an animal doesn't have an eternal soul like humans do. But I have seen apparitions of animals in this house, and I have captured them on still shots, mainly a cat. Now, a lot of people have brought up that they saw cats in the videos or cat eyes, and they asked me, you know, was that your cat, Kent? For the most part, I put the cats in the garage a lot of times when I do investigations, but I have seen in pictures and in videos, and when I'm not recording, I'll turn around and I would have swore I saw a cat walking across the floor. I'd turn around and look, and I'd follow, like, is that one of the cats? And it's not one of the cats. Sometimes my cats know exactly when the paranormal activity picks up. I was sitting in the living room with the recorder going, and I heard a disembodied voice come from the kitchen. And if you notice, watch my cat, she looks in the same directions I look when we hear the sounds. Are you talking? A couple nights later, I heard strange sounds in the house. I set up a recorder in the living room, and I go into the bathroom and was doing some recordings to see if I'd capture anything in the bathroom. Well, one of these spirits obviously didn't like the cat sitting on the couch in the living room. are times when this paranormal activity happens, the cat's fur is literally standing up. We just heard a strange noise and her furs is really sticking up. What'd you hear? Huh? A lot of people ask me, how can you guys live in that house with that type of activity? You cannot be afraid of paranormal activity and live in this house. Although some of these encounters can be quite startling, the chances of something bad happening to one of us is extremely slim. You have a better chance of being attacked by the living than you do spirits. You have a better chance of being killed by the living than you do with spirits. Living in this house, you get used to a lot of the voices that you hear. You get used to a lot of things that you see out of the corner of your eyes. You get used to the strange sounds. Now, what you don't get used to is the shadow-type apparitions that can show up or other apparitions. Those are pretty startling, and the reason why they're startling and the reason why you don't get used to those, because it's very rare to come across them, and when you do come across them, it is very startling. The bottom line is, everybody that lives in this house fear only one spirit, and one spirit only.